mommy and daddy's divorced, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not gonna leave my mom by herself. So I'm gonna make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
this is before Vincent.
Before Vincent. Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with mommy car insurance. Only Tamar.
Mommy needs a car.
Normally, I would never have a conversation with Trina or any of my sisters about helping out financially with my mom. But because I'm so stressed in that category, I needed to let her know what I felt.
If there's one thing we've all known about the Braxton crew for years, it's that Toni straight up carried that whole family on her back. She was the breadwinner, the problem solver, the one covering everybody's mess, and it drained the life right out of her. Some folks are even whispering that all that nonstop stress might have played a part in her battle with that autoimmune disease. Now, word on the curb is Tamar's been spilling a little truth tea about just how heavy that weight was on Toni. She's even saying she feels bad for her big sis, especially since Toni had to go through the humiliation of filing for bankruptcy not once, but twice. But here's the real jaw dropper. Was it so bad that she tied the knot with Birdman, only to file for divorce 2 days later just to secure a fat payday? Baby, the streets swear that's the play. And trust me, we're breaking down every piece of this tea. Okay, here's what most folks don't realize. While Toni Braxton is an undeniable living legend, at one point she was barely scraping enough to take care of herself, let alone the entire Braxton clan.
He's speaking to me, upset with me. I was told the devil was breaking up our family, the devil was raging. So it was a bad thing. My sister Tracy is the one who said to me, Toni, you know, when you make it, you can help us, come on. So I always tried to abide that. But the responsibility of it is so heavy for me. I feel I can never live my life. And I never used to say it. I never used to say anything to anybody. But since we've been doing this show, I've been saying it.
We're talking about a woman who was the face of R&B in the 90s. Yet behind the scenes, her bank account was looking real fragile. At the peak of her career, when she was pulling in over $170 million in record sales for her label.
I don't understand. My second bankruptcy was because I was sick. I have lupus, and my show in Vegas got canceled.
And the insurance wouldn't cover it.
The insurance didn't cover it, so I had to pay myself.
Right.
And so
That's a lot. That was a lot of money.
It's a lot of money to put up a show. People don't understand this. If you see a concert, you see the lights, you see the band on stage, the artist pays for all that. The hotel rooms, the salary, so then you have nothing left over.
Toni still had to file for bankruptcy more than once. And according to Toni herself, while she was making millions for Arista LaFace, she was pocketing what she called peanuts. Imagine that. Several Grammys under her belt, over 70 million albums sold, and still fighting to pay the bills. Toni's story starts with her sisters in the late 80s as the Braxtons. But when she went solo in 1993 with her self-titled debut album, everything changed overnight. That album shot straight to #1, one on the Billboard 200 and sold a jaw-dropping 10 million copies worldwide. Hits like Breathe Again and Another Sad Love Song had the world hooked, backed by powerhouse producers Babyface and Antonio L.A. Reid. And just when people thought she couldn't top it, Toni dropped Secrets, an even bigger smash. That album gave us Unbreak My Heart, a song so massive it sold another 10 million copies on its own and became one of the biggest singles in music history. But here's the crazy part. Behind all that glitz and global fame, Toni was still hustling just to keep her head above water. We're talking about a straight-up powerhouse here, yet Toni Braxton was getting chewed up and spit out by her own record label. And baby, if they could pull this on a legend like Toni, imagine the nightmare lesser-known artists have to endure in those shady boardrooms. Toni wasn't just sitting back and taking it, though. She actually filed a lawsuit against her label. But in January 1998, things hit rock bottom. She had to file for bankruptcy. Later, she came clean about why. Her recording contract was a straight-up trap. She walked away with less than $2,000 in royalties while being forced to pay back the label for clothes, travel, studio time, and even music video costs. Can you imagine selling millions of records and still owing money? The struggle got so real that at one point, Toni was even accused of trying to dodge creditors by transferring $53,000 to her ex-husband, Kerry Lewis, during her bankruptcy case.
I kind of think it's mine a little bit,
Wow.
a little bit.
And then on top of that, when you do
Nothing.
shows, you still charge her. I don't charge her. When the last time have I charged you for a show?
Tamar
It's been
hasn't charged you
years.
for show for years. My sister Tamar never charges me to do background singing for me. My sister Trina does. My sister Tawanda She's an executive assistant. That makes sense for her to get a salary. I just wish every situation was not about Toni's savings and loans.
I have never charged Toni. And what I'm saying is it pissed me off. When I saw that you and Tawana get paid, I was pissed off.
And just when you thought that chapter was over, boom, she filed for bankruptcy again in 2010. But this time, it was because her health took a brutal hit. Diagnosed with microvascular angina and later lupus, she was forced to cancel a lucrative Las Vegas residency that could have saved her financially. And the hits kept coming, literally. In 2019, the IRS filed a lien against her for $340,252.99 in back taxes from 2017. Days later, the state of California Franchise Tax Board came knocking with another lien, $116,154.64. That's nearly $500,000 in taxes owed. But through all of this, bankruptcies, lawsuits, medical battles, Toni was still the one holding her family down, making sure everybody else was okay, even when her own world was falling apart. Toni even admitted that while she was out here paying everybody's way, Trina and Tawanda still had the nerve to demand salaries for working for her. Meanwhile, Tamar, who actually helped with the bills, never asked for a dime. And it's not like Toni expected her sisters to work for free. She just figured that since she was already paying them, the least they could do was take care of their mom or handle a few things around the house. But nope, they didn't lift a single finger. All that responsibility sucked the life right out of her. And the only one who even tried to help was Tamar. Now, yes, there's been plenty of drama between Tamar and the rest of the Braxton crew, but here's the twist. Tamar actually stepped up when it came to helping Toni keep the household running. And then, enter Birdman. Rumors started swirling in 2016 that these two were more than just friends.
Are you guys a couple?
Well, T, that's my girl, my friend, my family.
Do you have sex?
That's my love, my soldier, my life. She my everything, and I trust her.
Because you bought her a Bentley truck.
Yes.
So the implication is that's your girlfriend.
She my life. I love her to death.
By 2018, in an interview with People, Toni finally addressed it. She explained that she and Birdman had been tight for over 15 years. He'd been to her baby showers, her plays, her concerts. She called him her bestie and claimed she never saw a romantic spark coming. But Chile, the streets were already talking and the whispers were getting louder by the day. I never thought we'd be dating, let alone getting married, Toni said, opening up about the surprise turn in her relationship with Birdman. She explained how comforting it was to have someone tell her it was okay to be sick, that she didn't have to be Wonder Woman every single day. Every time she had a show, he was there. Every night, without fail, he'd ask, "Are you okay? You good?" And Toni admits she thought, "Oh my God, he's such a great guy." When Birdman finally made his move, he confessed he'd always liked her. She was shocked. "You never told me?" And he just smiled and said, "Well, you were married." According to him, he had been digging her from the start. In that same interview, Toni revealed that while battling lupus, a disease that comes with the constant threat of blood clots and pulmonary embolisms, she never had to hide her bad days from Birdman. He knew when she wasn't okay, even if she was smiling on camera. Toni admitted she had always struggled in relationships because she felt ashamed of her illness, thinking no man would want to care for a woman with lupus. But with Birdman, she could relax. No wigs, no glam, just a hat, a little lipstick, some mascara, and still feel beautiful. Eventually, Birdman popped the question. Toni even shared photos from that very moment. One snapped just minutes before the proposal, and another 24 hours later showing them hugged up, her brand new rock front and center. Around that time, Birdman went on the Wendy Williams show and poured it all out.
But there's no date.
There's no date. We almost had a date. Well, we had 2 dates, but we were doing Braxton Family Values and we were going through a little drama, and I was like, okay, the wedding is a good thing to get all of us sisters together.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get us all together, and I said, the wedding's not a good reason because it's messing up my relationship a little bit. He's like, come on, Michelle, set a date. I know.
That's what he calls you?
Calls me Michelle. Doesn't call me Toni at all. That's my middle name, Toni Michelle. Yeah.
Set a date.
Set a date. He said before the year's out, so I have, what, a couple weeks.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
So he's 45, you're 51.
He's 49.
49.
calling Toni his love, his soldier, his life, his everything. He told Wendy he loved her to death, painting the picture of a man deeply devoted. But as we all know, in celebrity romance, the story never stops at the fairy tale. Toni opened up about the engagement, saying they had almost locked in a wedding date, actually 2 dates. At the time, they were filming Braxton Family Values and dealing with some drama, and Toni thought a wedding would be the perfect way to bring all the sisters together. But she couldn't get everyone in the same room. Still, she was excited. This was going to be her second wedding, and as she put it, I'm over 40. It's like Carrie Bradshaw, the last bride over 40. She wanted it elegant, a little sexy, and nothing like her first trip down the aisle. Forget the big princess gown. This time she was dreaming of vintage 1920s and 30s vibes, a full-on Great Gatsby moment. Even Birdman had his wish list. Toni laughed, saying he wants macaroni and cheese. Her compromise? Macaroni and cheese balls to keep it pretty. She was willing to let him have a say in the location too, explaining he wants to get married in California. We talked about Atlanta, but he said no because he didn't want any remnants of my first wedding. But here's where it got messy. The wedding never happened. Toni said they kept pushing the date because of her work schedule, but not everyone was buying that. Plenty of people were whispering that those work commitments were just cover-ups, because if she really wanted to marry Birdman, she would have made it happen. And in Hollywood, when a wedding gets pushed too many times, it usually means something much bigger is brewing behind the scenes. Right after all the wedding delays, things took a turn straight out of a soap opera. Toni claimed she lost her $1 million engagement ring to what she called an apparent theft after leaving it in her checked luggage. And baby, the whole thing sounded way too fishy. Then out of nowhere, the breakup news hit in 2019. Birdman posted a single cold-blooded "It's over" caption on Instagram, then wiped every single picture of Toni from his account. Meanwhile, Toni popped up in a red gown looking unbothered, captioning her post, "Starting a new chapter isn't always an easy choice, but always choose to be chosen. Cheers to a new year." Translation, she was moving on, or so we thought. Because here's where the real tea spills. Court documents later revealed that Toni and Birdman actually did get married, only for it to blow up in 2 days. The papers, filed under their initials TB and BW, showed they secretly tied the knot on August 8th, then separated on August 10th. 2 weeks later, Toni filed for divorce, calling the marriage irretrievably broken. But plot twist, they didn't follow through. In January 2025, Toni dismissed the divorce petition, and Birdman signed off on it too, meaning, technically, they could still be legally married right now. So, was this a whirlwind romance gone wrong, a business move gone sideways, or something way deeper the public's not supposed to know about? Either way, this is one Hollywood love story that refuses to stay buried. And honestly, I get why people would side-eye the whole thing, especially knowing Toni's money situation has been shaky for years. Word in the industry is she's still never fully bounced back. And guess what? Tamar is still the only one consistently stepping in to help her out, just like she's always done. But here's the kicker. Separating from Birdman just 2 days after the wedding, that's not just unusual. That's headline-level suspicious. So here's the $1 million question. Do you think Toni actually married for love? Or was this a strategic move for the bag? Drop your theories below. Did Toni sacrifice her peace for a paycheck? Or is there more to this story that we'll never know? And while you're at it, tell me what you think about her literally carrying her whole family for decades. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, share this with your people, and I'll see you in the next video.